Okay. Thank you for joining us. My name is Brooks McQuaid. You heard from me last week, and you heard from me again today about this virtual event. So, Whit and I are really excited to connect with you tonight. We're grateful that you were able to take time out of your day and join us to hear more about our wonderful community and what Team Tilton is and how we go above and beyond to know, support, and challenge our students and our adults. And it's one of the reasons why we distinguish ourselves as such a tight-knit community and one in which we care so much for each other. I'm a proud alumnus. I've been working at the school for 17 years. I am an associate director of admissions. I'm also the boys hockey coach. So I'm happy to, as we move along, I will let Whit know if you do have some questions that you want to throw in the chat, but we are very available at the end for some Q&A if it pertains to this. But if you also had a quick question about the application process or anything else, we're happy to do that. We will be doing another event on January 20th, and you will get an invitation to that. It will be on our website. And again, if you have any questions about anything, you can email me directly. Again, the biggest thing is we're excited that you're here, and we're really grateful that you took time out of your day or evening to Zoom with us and hear more about our wonderful community. Whit, I'd love to have you jump on and take over in terms of what we're going to do tonight.
Great. Thank you, Brooks. Thank you all. It's great to see some of your faces. Thank you for joining us live, as Brooks said. One reminder, since we are all live here together, if you're able to mute, all of you are muted now, but just to be aware of that. We are recording, as Brooks mentioned. And if you have any questions, really the idea with these Tuesdays with Tilton is that once a month now, throughout the remainder of the admission cycle, we are going to be doing these webinar discussions, just another touch point. The more touch points you have with our community, with our school, with our admissions team, we want you, the better. We want you to connect with as many people as possible. We want you to know that throughout the admission cycle, you're getting all the information that you need to really feel like, wow, I know who Tilton is, what their community is about, and the experience that you would have as a parent guardian, and most importantly, the experience that your student would have. So our hope is that with this one tonight, kind of the all-encompassing, what are we doing, who are we, what are we about, and the why behind everything that we do, that's really the hope tonight. And then moving forward, breaking down certain elements and certain parts of our community so that you get that full all-encompassing experience. But in any case, this will be a discussion. And I don't want to stand up here and kind of just talk at you all. So if you have a question, raise your hand. But as Brooks mentioned, we will do a Q&A part at the end. So if you want to hold your questions till the end, and then we can have that discussion. So we are here for you. We hope that with this information, you get what you need. And if not, please reach out to us at any time. So hello, I am Whit Willocks. I am new to the Tilton community as of this year. I'm the assistant head of school. I also am a dorm parent in the Maloney house, which is our senior girl dorm. I have 3 little ones on campus with me, 9, 6, and 1 as of a few weeks ago. So there's never a dull moment. But how lucky am I to be raising my kids in this community? I grew up in boarding schools. I was a faculty kid. My parents all did this work. I'm the youngest of 4 girls. They're all involved in this work. And so it was just, I always knew that when it was time for me to have a family of my own and raise my children, growing up in a boarding school is the greatest gift I could give them. And then when I came to Tilton last year to visit, there was no question that I wanted my babies to be here amongst this community, amongst these adults, amongst these students, and to have these role models in their lives. So there was something about it. And for some of you, if you are with us tonight or watching this on a recording, when you come to campus, if you have been to campus already or if you haven't, there's something special when you walk the halls, when you see the people. And I'll touch on it all tonight. But for me, sitting in the seat that you sit now, having done the visit and the interview, all of that last year, when I came to campus, it felt as though Tilton is authentically itself. And so that is the energy that we have here on campus. And that allows our students to be authentically themselves. And as I will touch on later in the presentation, what a gift at the years of adolescence where they are sponges and they're figuring everything out for you as students, for you as parents and guardians, to know that here in this small community, so as we're talking about who we are a small school that is very intentionally small Our enrollment is growing, but we will never exceed 250, 260. And that's why, right? And so it's so that we can have these interpersonal relationships. We can know, support, and challenge every single one of our students. And I'm going to get into how we do that, but that's why we are our size. That's why we do what we do. And for me, relationships are what I love. I love being a mentor. I love having an impact on students and just helping shape their trajectory in life. And what better place to do it than here at Tilton? So I am the lucky one, and I'm so glad to share a little bit of it with you all tonight. So if we move forward, what we're focusing on here tonight, and as the assistant head of school, I oversee really all programming. I oversee our advisory, our academic programming, our student experience. And so that's really my lens. I kind of have a hand in all things. Every day is different and exciting, and I love it. And so tonight I want to touch on all the programming, again, what we're doing and the why behind what we do. So to you as the parents, right? For you, the message of no support and challenge, what that means is that your child will be known. They will be supported in many different ways, right? Support isn't just emotional support or academic support. Support will come in many different ways, and they will have a team of adults and peers around them. And then once they feel that they are known, once they can feel that, okay, in every facet of their life, they're being supported, that's when a challenge comes their way and they're like, I've got it, right? They see that challenge in front of them and they know they can face it and they can overcome it and they can step outside of that comfort zone. Because when you do step outside of that comfort zone, that's where the magic happens. And that's where the true learning and the growth happens. And so that's what we're doing. We're creating as many opportunities with intent and thoughtfulness behind them for our students to feel that they are known, to know that they are supported, and then to really face those challenges in a thoughtful and supportive way. To the students, what this message means, no support challenges, means that we see you, we see you wholeheartedly. We've got you, right? You have a team of adults around you. So if you step out of that comfort zone, if you try something new and you fail, if we're struggling in a class, if we're struggling with some interpersonal relationships, that's okay. We've got you. And you're going to have lots of different people that you can turn to get that support, to hear different voices, to bounce ideas off of, to ask, hey, how do I handle this? Raise your hand, ask for help. You will have so many people to turn to. So that's saying we see you, students. We've got you, and we will be right by your side as you face challenges, as you really learn how to do hard things well. Having that line when I was visiting Tilton last year, teaching our students how to do hard things well, that's something my sisters and I have always said, that we can do hard things. And so then to come to Tilton's campus and have that be one of the token lines, I was like, this is it. This is the place I'm meant to be. And that's what we're doing here. We're showing our students that if a hard thing comes your way, you can handle it. You're going to be okay. And if you're not, you'll learn from it and then you'll be better the next time around. So to students, I hope that that's the message that you're picking up. And so it's this idea, as we move forward, I'm going to highlight all the different ways that here in our community, our students are known. So to our students, to the parents, you will be known, right? We have all of these different opportunities. And it's fascinating too, with our size and with our campus. You think about our physical campus space. There is not a corner on campus, there isn't a building on campus that a student won't step foot in, right? I went to a boarding school down in the Boston area, about a little larger than Tilton is. And there were buildings, there were dorms, there were parts of campus I never saw in my 4 years. That is not the case here at Tilton. So just the physical campus size, students are engaging with all parts of the community, whether it's our arts building, whether it's the mansion where we're holding events or doing holiday shows, whether it's our theater building, obviously our athletic center and our classrooms. But students are touching every corner of campus, which means that they're also engaging with every student in their community. So with that intent to be small, it's all about the relationships. It's walking on campus. There's nothing more that I love than walking on campus and being able to name every single student. And they respond to me and they know my name and our eyes are up and we're not on our phones and we're saying hi. That connection piece, those little moments throughout the day, man, what an impact it has on me. But for our students also to know that when they're walking between classes, when they're going to the dining hall, to their practices, to their dorm, they are being seen. And it's those little moments that we really focus on. And so for this, here's just a few examples. So with orientation, right? You're coming to school, you're a new student. We are extremely intentional with our orientation, our onboarding. You come to campus early. There are fun games. You're connecting with your advisor group. We're really intentional with our advisory. Small groups, anywhere from 5 to about 9 students, and every faculty member serves as an advisor. And we have some faculty member who are dual advisors, so they share a group. But you're coming in, we're very thoughtful. Our admissions team, along with some of our admin, we sit together and we look at all of our incoming students. All right, what are their personalities? What is their background? How are they gonna, what's that energy gonna be in that room? How can we connect them? Let's think about their interests. How can we already foster those connection points? So we're really intentional with our advisory, our assignments, and the faculty that are going to be in your student's life right out of the gate. You think about the dorms experience. This is specific for our day students. Even our day students on campus have a dorm room and are assigned to a dorm. That was not the case when I was in boarding school down in the Boston area. Not many boarding schools have that opportunity for our day students. So, our day students during the day, instead of just roaming the halls or having to sit out in a common space, they can go to a dorm room. They can decorate it, they can have it and make it their own. And that's really wonderful to see. So, when we do dorm meetings, when we do dorm events and we're going out at night, we took our girls to see the light show in New Hampshire at the Raceway last week, and we went out for a McDonald's run and then to get ice cream. Day students are a part of that. And so to know that the day students are just as much involved, being a new faculty member this year, walking around on campus, I have no idea who is a boarder and who is a day student. And so that speaks to that meshing, that ability to just everyone is connected and everyone is sharing those experiences. And that's what I really love. And I know that that translates for our student experience as well. One thing I have here is our Faculty Professional Development Day. So we make sure at the end of every trimester, we gather as a faculty, we sit in a giant circle, and we're all looking at each other, and an advisor will speak to every single one of their advisees. So that means that every student in our community is being spoken for. We're talking about their successes. We're talking about some challenges. We're talking about maybe some supports that we need to implement, but just ways to celebrate them and make sure they're getting what they need to have a wonderful experience, to be thriving in all facets of their life, so that no student will ever slip through the cracks. And that is one piece that as a faculty member, when I think about, my kids in high school one day, that's something that really resonates, where you know that every part of their life, they've got eyes on, they have people they can turn to. But collectively, when you think about the Team Tilton, so if your student is here in the middle and they've got all of these branches of adults from every activity, dorm, advisor, all of their teachers, their activity leaders, they're all communicating with each other. We have this online system called Blackbaud. Notes are being shared. Hey, I can tell that Susie was off a little bit today. Want to make sure everybody's aware. If anyone can share anything, please let me know so I can make sure that I'm touching base with her, right? Even if you can just tell in a simple interaction that somebody's having a bad day, or, hey, Susie just hit a home run in her game. Want to make sure we're all aware. So next time you see her walking down the hallway, make sure to give her that high five. And they're feeling that connection. So we're really intentional with that communication piece. We do not operate in isolation. We operate in collaboration with our adults, making sure that the students are getting what they need. You think about small class sizes, weekend activities are run by students along with our student engagement and our community life office. So it's the students coming together. They come up with the ideas. They look at, okay, here's the schedule moving ahead. Here's what we want to have in 3 weeks. Anything from tubing to off-campus trips to trips to Concord. You think about where we are location-wise and what we have access to. Goodness gracious, I love it because I have family in Boston and I can do a quick day trip down to see them, right? We're right off of 93. So it takes, an hour and 4 minutes to get right to downtown Boston. That's amazing. But also our access to Concord and how we're doing a lot of partnerships. You think about, we have our term Go Beyond, where students are doing internships. Our entrepreneurship classes are working with alums in the Concord, Manchester, Bedford area to hook into programs to get them thinking outside of our little community, but really gaining access to all that we have right here in our backyard here in Tilton. Home nights, you'll see here these 2 pictures on the screen where our advisors will host our students. And this happens every few months where the students come to their house or they go and cook their own meal in the dining hall. But just another connection point, right? To know that our students are so much more than just a student here. They are a human being, and we want to make sure that they are seen as such. And so it's really just making those organic, natural connections and pulling the curtain back, right? Having girls in my house with my babies at night and they're babysitting and there's that familial connection where they just feel at home and comforted. And so if they have that on a daily basis, when they walk into the classroom, just think about how great they feel when they see their dorm parent and their coach and those different facets. And they see, yeah, we're humans too, and we're real people, and we're out there doing things. And I'm a mom, and we're all juggling these parts. And so it's really important for them to see us in those lights as well. Okay, SEB is the last piece here that I'll touch on so that I can make sure we're staying on time. So this is our student experience block. All of our classes take part in this. It happens once a week, and this is where they're doing everything from we're working, our faculty were able to just throw in ideas of, all right, how can you as a faculty member share a passion, interest of yours with the students as another connection point? I myself, I love any activity. I love anything physical. I also love pickleball. So my idea was to say to students, anyone who wants to play pickleball, I would love to connect with you. We're going to have music, we're going to have snacks, and we're just going to play pickleball for these 2 hours in this SEB block. So, and then anyone was sharing ideas, everything from crafting to jewelry making to going to an art studio downtown to going hiking. So faculty sharing that personal touch to again build that personal connection in those relationships. But SEB goes beyond that. So it's really thinking of outside experiential learning, activities that our classes are involved in, and then looping in the community service aspect of it as well. A group of students went a few weeks ago down to the library to help stock books, rake leaves, clean up the community. So it's this opportunity that our students have to think outside of the box, get outside of the classroom, and connect with our community. All right. We also do different ways that our students are shown that they are known by celebrating them. We do a RAM of the week. Every school meeting, we meet every Tuesday, and it's celebrating everything from, hey, this student was cleaning up the dining hall when no one was looking, and I happened to be walking by, and we're going to celebrate that. Or the student just was awarded an award in their soccer team because they showed extreme sportsmanship. And so there are just so many ways that we want to celebrate our students and in front of the entire community. So whether it's, getting up and doing a chapel talk and sharing their experience about their personal experience, pulling that curtain back so that everyone is feeling known and that we are creating, as you can see, so many different opportunities for our students to build those relationships because it starts with knowing them and seeing them. From there, we go to how do we support our students? And not only as we, the community, will we support our students, but students, you will support one another. And this is the really important part. So with this support, right, I think about myself in high school when I was so unsure of myself, right? I thought because I was at this certain prestigious school that I had to be a certain way. I had to look a certain way. I had to have certain interests because that's what everyone did. And so I didn't know who I was or what I wanted to do because I'd never had the opportunity. And perhaps I didn't have the voices in my ear saying, hey, Whit, what do you want to do? What are you interested in? Forget what everyone else is doing. Make this experience your own. So when you think about Team Tilton and all the voices and the adults that are around your student, that's the messaging. It's we want you to feel that you are so known that you can try different things. You can be true to yourself. You can be in a place where you can walk the halls and be your authentic self. And then you make choices that align with that authentic self. We get so much feedback from our community, whether it's parent surveys, student surveys. We have a speaker, we do a school community event. We're asking the students, hey, what do you think of that? Did that resonate? Is, areas for improvement? Are we doing what we say we're doing? Students, lean into that. This is a partnership, both with our students, but also with our parents and guardians, because we are all in this together. And so the more communication, the more that you can feel a part of it, the better experience everyone will have. And so we will always, always, always make every decision with what is best for our students. So you think about this in certain ways with our Team Tilton. I've mentioned that team of adults that are surrounding your student, our Murray weight room. This is something where athletic support, whether it's cross training, whether it's training sport, you have an injury, you want to get an extra workout in, it is open during the day. And our athletic trainers will make themselves available. Our weight room staff will make themselves available. So it's not just in the afternoon. So there's that partnership to make sure with your afternoon activity, your athletic experience, your art experience, your theater, your music, whatever that added interest is, you're getting that all-encompassing experience as well. Rampacked here, this is something we've started this year where students are able to give back to the community in a restorative way. Where if we make a mistake, if we make a little fumble, it's not us versus you as a student. It's, hey, let's lean into this together. Let's figure out how we can make this community a better place. Everything from cleaning buses to helping our grounds crew. So again, teaching our students that it's so much more than just getting A's or B's and how you're doing on a report card. This is an all-encompassing experience where you are a part of this community, and we want to make sure that this community is making you better just as much as you are making it better. Supportive study hall is something that our freshmen all do starting day one of school, and then afterwards, depending on how you are placed academically, you can place out of supportive study hall. It happens in the dining hall. And we have faculty monitors who help everything from study skills to homework help. So that's happening every night. And then students can also opt into it after the first trimester, or they can be placed academically and place out of it and do study hall back in their dormitory. Our CAA, this is our Center for Academic Engagement. Students can opt into academic support, but really making sure that as a learner, if you're coming in with a learning plan and IEP, we make sure that you are getting the support you need, that again, you are seen as a learner. Who are you? How can we tap into, make it click? What is it that's going on inside of you? How can we make you tick as well? So that in the classroom, you look forward to going to the classroom. You're connecting with your teacher, but that teacher is also aware of the accommodations that need to happen to make sure you are thriving in the classroom. And if you're not thriving in the classroom, that communication happens to the Team Tilton. The Team Tilton will meet. All right, what adjustments do we need to make for Johnny? And how can we make sure he's getting the support he needs in the classroom? So our CAA and our staff there, 3 full-time learning specialists, and we're bringing in a new director. And so we have a robust team there that just does incredible work. Alternative peer group, this is something we also have piloted this year. This is a group where students who need added support or perhaps just feel that, they're struggling to get to class on time. They're struggling with getting homework done. Perhaps they stepped outside of our community standards. Again, it's bringing those students together restoratively, coming together to talk about, all right, what is your experience? How can we connect with one another? Because again, when you feel that you are known as a student, you are less likely to step out of bounds. If you know there are eyes on you, if you know that there are people that truly care about you, if you know that coach is looking at you like, hey man, I know you're so much better than this, and you feel that from the faculty and the peers around you, are peers also holding each other accountable? It is proven, and we have done research, and we did this book called 10 to 25, our faculty read this past summer, where it's high standards, but high support. Those do not need to operate separately. And so if those standards are so high, but that support is right there with it, that's where the students are thriving. And so with this alternative peer group, it's bringing students together who are just having different struggles, but being able to create space for them to authentically talk about it. And maybe, it takes a little while for them to get comfortable and open up, but at least they see, oh, wow, I'm not the only one feeling this. I'm not the only one struggling in this way. And so if we can build those connections, again, that's where the students really grow and learn to advocate for themselves. We do a wonderful job with our peer tutors, again, reaching out so that it's not just faculty, students relying on faculty, but really that connection piece and that accountability piece, and knowing that you can turn to the students around you. With our advisory, we do student-led conferences and goal setting. So we did this at the halfway point of this fall when Fall Family Weekend happened. Parents, you come to campus and your student will give you a presentation saying, here's what I've focused on so far this year. It will only have been about a month and a half, but here's what I really want to get out of my remaining experience, whether it's the remaining of this trimester, trimester 2, and then by the end of the school year, I want to look back on my experience and know that I focused on these goals and I was able to accomplish these things. So that's a partnership. They work closely with the advisor to create this presentation. So when you parents sit down with your student, they're presenting, shoulders back, looking you in the eye, saying, here's what I've done, but here's what what I want to do with this experience. So giving that ownership to the student instead of the faculty or the advisor just saying to you parents, here's what he's done and here's what we're working on. We put it to our students, right? So they can step up, they can show, okay, yeah, you are the one leading this. We're here standing by your side to support you. And again, it's similar with our mid-year reflections, making sure again that that communication piece is constantly happening so that nothing's slipping between the cracks and that students are always feeling that they've got this team around them. Okay. And then with this being known, feeling supported comes the challenge. So for students, we will challenge you. And this is to say, challenges can be so scary sometimes, especially to a high school age student. Challenges, the unfamiliar, we are afraid to fail. We are afraid that if we fail and fall on our face, our peers will think differently of us. We will let our parents down. If I don't get a certain grade, if I don't do well, if I'm not a captain, if I'm not all these things, our brains, right? As an adolescent, they just go down all these rabbit holes. We are constantly making sure that our students see us modeling, hey, I can do a hard thing well. This is uncomfortable for me, but I want to model that, yeah, I'm afraid and I'm nervous to stand up in chapel every day, but I want to do this for you. I want to model that. So when they see their faculty modeling it, but we're also constantly talking to them, and again, it's that constant messaging of there are going to be hard things that come your way in your 4 year, your 3, 2, 1 year experience, but you can do it. And if you don't do it, if you face that challenge and it doesn't work out, that's okay too, right? It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be thriving in all areas, but let's make sure we're acknowledging that and we're putting the support and we're doing the work to make sure you are feeling good in those areas of your life. So again, we will not remove challenges, right? So often, especially coming out of COVID, as adults, we can try to remove challenges. We can try to, handle things in a certain way. But here at Tilton, with our size, with our intentionality behind knowing our students, we make sure that challenges are coming at them often, but they gain that confidence. They gain that confidence. Okay, this is scary. This makes me nervous, but I can do it. Whether it's studying for a hard test, whether it's giving a chapel talk where all of our students are given the opportunity, should they choose to, every Friday during school meeting to stand up in front of the entire school and share a little bit about themselves. And we had some upperclassmen that stepped into this opportunity that it was new this year, and they've modeled that. So now we have underclassmen. We have a few freshmen that have said, hey, can I do a chapel talk? Oh my goodness, music to my ears, to just see how that trickled down effect when our students are given that ownership and they model it, to then see the ripple effects of that where younger students are stepping into those opportunities as well. So with these challenges, again, stepping outside of that comfort zone, we want to make sure our students know that please step out of that comfort zone, and whether it works out or it doesn't, you will be okay. And we've got you. And so that's where that true learning and that magic happens. Other ways that we're doing this, you think about the challenges with our academic offerings. We're also adding a lot more electives to come next year. So being creative, we're nimble with our academic offerings. We're nimble with our academic model. Right now we have our handful of AP classes, our honors capstone seminar, which is an individualized learning opportunity where students take the reins, they take the ownership, they say, okay, here's what I want to do, here's what I want to learn about, and it's this independent study that our students can gain access to. Leadership positions, proctors in the dorm, captains on the team. We do a lot with our community life office and really leaning on our student government, having that say, having that partnership, that buy-in. Chapel talks, I've mentioned those. Winter Carnival weekend, this comes up in January, and this is fully student run. So our entrepreneurship program, which we're building up, we're adding more opportunities, go beyond, right? Those connections outside of campus. So with this is completely student run, where it's a full week, a spirit week leading up to it, where we have different themes every day, events, a pep rally come Friday, and then a full weekend of activities. It's a closed weekend, so we have everyone on campus. The energy is palpable. I haven't experienced it as this is my new first year at Tilton, but what I have heard, and this is the stuff that I love about it. I remember my experience when I was in high school and doing these types of things, but to know what Tilton does behind this winter carnival, everything from skiing down the mountain to activities in the rink, to a pep rally in the gym. We then do a show in Hamilton, which is our theater area. all these different ways. And they're so at the games and having three little ones myself, our little Rams, as we call them, our faculty kids, which we have about 24 on campus, which is crazy to be such a small school and have all these little ones. But they will do halftime shows during the games. They'll get on the ice, they're competing. So our little ones are just so amped, and to see that connection and that excitement is truly remarkable. Our ninth grade seminar, we are extremely so to you, ninth grade parents who are listening, whether live or in this recording, we are very intentional with our ninth grade experience. So we do this ninth grade seminar, which happens often. All ninth graders will experience it. Everything from life skills to research abilities, a lot of group work, presentations, and public speaking. So it is this all-encompassing experience, academically focused, but also stepping outside of that to know, here's how you do your laundry, here's how you clean up your room, here are the different support systems that you can lean on at school. But to also know that we have a grade 9 advisor, and so we are building. So for all of our ninth graders coming in, what we're building next year is that we have a team of faculty specifically focused on the ninth grade experience. They will always be the advisors to ninth graders. Then as a 10th grader, you will then have a new advisor for the remainder of the year. But these ninth grade faculty members are the specialists. So it's everything from, as a ninth grader, what's your experience in the dorm? As a ninth grader, what's your experience academically? Laying out your entire roadmap so that you know what you're working towards. What's your experience socially? What's your experience emotionally and healthy relationships? And how can we help build those tools for you to be able to advocate and make sure that we're making you aware of all the things to come in these 4 years? But as a parent, to know that is, we're extremely intentional with that ninth grade experience, because if we can give that student the tools in that first year and have them really build those advocacy skills, build those confidence skills, man, imagine what they're going to do with the rest of their time at Tilton. So that ninth grade experience, we're really very intentional and thoughtful with that. But with this, again, always encouraging our students to try something new, step outside of that comfort zone. I keep saying it, but coming to, again, learning how to do these hard things well. One thing as faculty, we did a lot of work with MBE. So this is the mind brain education. So for you parents to know, we are very data driven. We're doing the studies, we're reading the books to make sure that we are understanding adolescent minds and brains. It's ever changing, right? With AI coming up, with technology, this how learning has always been. It changes every year, and so to parents, we are making sure that we're staying on top of it, both as the admin level, but as a faculty and advisors, making sure we're educating ourselves so that we have the tools to then give the tools to our students, how to handle all these things in life that are thrown at them in these 4 years and these adolescent years. But knowing with the MBE, making learning relevant, validating personal identity. Again, to those students, we see you, who you are, be yourself. Don't ever question that. And then just the metacognitive learning that goes on with that as well. So making it a full encompassing process of learning, but knowing that the learning is happening not just in the classroom, but in every facet of their life. All right, and I'm talking a lot, guys. I'm almost there, and then we'll go to the questions. And then this slide, I really just wanted to kind of wrap things up and then show you a few pictures at the end that are some of my favorite. But this is the line that you'll find on our website that really resonates with me. Tilton is a school that has been embracing the future since 1845. So one that speaks to how old we are, how long the tradition, the rich history that this school has. And it's been beautiful because you think back to the 19th century, Charles E. Tilton, he was the founder here. And he was a pioneer who Tilton was named after. He was all about entrepreneurship. He was all about thinking outside of the box. He was finding ways to be creative to help himself, but also his group of friends and the group of peers that he had here. You think about what he started in 1845 and where we are now, and just the connection points there, where we're still focused on those connections. How can we better ourselves? How can we better the community? But really gaining this love for learning, this love for, okay, here's what's in front of me, but how can I face this challenge? How can I think outside of the box? And again, you think about relationships. I may be biased. I know I'm definitely biased because I'm here at Tilton, but I have experienced many different boarding schools. I've experienced many different schools. Tilton does relationships really well, and no one does in my personal opinion, no one does relationships better than Tilton. That's with our size, with our intentionality behind those relationships, both faculty and students, but then the peer-to-peer relationships. So that's the piece with the Team Tilton, right? With not operating in isolation, making sure that our students don't have their blinders on when they're walking around campus, when they're in the classroom, that they know that they have all of these faculty members around them who care for them, who see them, then they can grow, they can learn. Again, I can't stress that enough. But it's knowing that we are so focused on who we are and staying true to who we are, which then allows our students to do the same. We want our students to know where you are. What is this community that you're now a part of? What is your role in it? What are you going to make your experience about? What are you going to give back? But also, what is going to be given to you? And then where you're going, and then where, as a school, where we are going. So to be so thoughtful, to reflect, to gain feedback, to have this be this partnership, this communication piece, that's really the hope that I get. We just did a bunch of job postings for some new faculty, some new teachers, and we are always, when I sit on the hiring committee for our faculty, it's looking to other faculty, other adults out there, other educators out there who are so focused on the pursuit of meaningful growth. And that's what Tilton's focused on right now. The pursuit of meaningful growth, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's as an individual, social, emotional growth, that's at the forefront of all we're doing here. And so when you think about how that translates to dorm life, activity life, athletic experience, your art experience, your academic experience, but really who you are as a human, how we can tap into all those different things that make you you and make you special, but also celebrate that. Because when you feel celebrated, when you feel seen, again, there's no better feeling. And so that's our focus for our students. Again, a long-winded way to say how we are so focused. I hope it comes across in the computer and on the screen. But again, always staying true to this known, supported, and challenged. And that's what Tilton is about. That's what we're focused on moving forward. And we would love for you all to be a part of that if any of this resonates with you. So here, just a look at some of my favorite pictures that kind of grab the feeling that I'm trying to get across with you tonight. This was a few of our girls. They were playing volleyball at orientation. So excited to be back. But again, this connection point, being authentic to yourself, being silly, having fun, knowing that you can be silly and make a total fool of yourself, and that's okay. And we love that. I know for me here on Plimpton Hall, you have our community life office. You then have my office. You have our registrar, our student support, our school counselor, our academic support, our academic dean, all in one hallway. And so we're all in the hallway, we're all connecting, and just we're laughing, we're smiling, saying hello to one another. And that's just a great way to always have, those breaks between the days. We did this was earlier this fall in our orientation. We did this program called Grit and Wit. And so it was some physical activities. The whole school took part in it. The faculty, we were in the middle, they had music blasting and we were all dancing and cheering on the students, but they had to go around to all these different stations, both physical, they had to climb up ropes, jump over boards, but then in between those, there were these mental exercises, completing puzzles, having to work together. You can see here the confusion. We were really thinking hard and working hard, but we were also smiling and enjoying it and connecting with one another. So building those authentic relationships right out of the gate. This was one of the first days of school. And then here, this was at our club fair. This was our statistics and game class. They were doing some trivia. So we do our club fair in the beginning of the year as well outside. It was a beautiful day, all the tables set up and just making sure that our students are getting involved in so many different ways. I just love the smiles on their face as well. And then we did our art show a few weeks ago. We have many visiting artists that come onto campus and we showcase them. And again, connecting to our greater community, both with New England, but Concord artists, local artists coming in, showing their stuff along with our students. You have a faculty member here, Tyler Goodwin, who is our boys soccer coach, one of our boys soccer coaches and our ceramic teacher, and lives on campus with his three little ones. And then a bunch of our students and just local community members that come to the art shows. So that's really wonderful. And then this was one of my favorites. So last week we did our holiday dinner. This was an advisor dinner. We had an ugly sweater competition. Myself and my three little ones, we were the judges. And you can imagine that my 9-year-old daughter took her role very seriously. So as the judges, but these were our advisor groups who all did these advisor pictures. And if we had, 20 more minutes, I would want to show you all the advisor pictures because they were outstanding. But you can see here, right, the families that are included, the students who become a part of our families, and just an ability to laugh at ourselves, to be silly, to have fun, to let those guards down. And it was just wonderful to have that experience. We did a formal dinner, sit down dinner, and then everyone came out to laugh and to have games and then take these beautiful pictures. And that's it. So that was a long-winded way of saying thank you all for joining us. I hope you gained more insight to Tilton. We pulled the curtain back a little bit, who we are, what we're about, all that is waiting here for you as a student, as a parent, and this all-encompassing experience that we're really intentional with what we're doing and where we're going and how much we would love for you to be a part of it. I've stayed just about on time, Coach. So we'll open it up now. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or just want to say hi and talk while we have a few minutes here before we have to sign off.
Awesome. Thank you, Whit.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Charlie Matthews. My son is applying for admission next year, James, and just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to do this evening. I think it's really great to have the opportunity, especially for me because yeah, I'm working and my wife did the campus visit and the interview situation and whatnot. So it's a great opportunity sort of for the other parent to get to know things. Um, could you talk just a little bit about, the team? I like the concept of the team a lot, and I like sort of the organic feel that it has. Could you talk a little bit about how the team is structured and sort of how it functions, sort of week to week?
Absolutely. So with your student, your son is James, right, Charlie?
Yes.
Right. So James would be, he would be a boarder here.
Um, Probably not. He'd be a day student and
Okay.
he'd be part of obviously the your concept of, the dorm room assignment is, something we really like about Tilton. It I
Love
think
it.
creates better transition and better sense of community.
Yep, absolutely. So with James, what's James interested in?
James is interested in history, in theater, and alpine skiing.
Outstanding. Well, he will be able to thrive in all those areas. So, with the team that would be around James, you would have his advisor, you would have his dorm parent because he would be assigned to a dorm, you would have all of his academic teachers, you would then have his alpine skiing coach, and whatever season he would be in, that's the coach that we would pull in. So, if James is needing support or we're needing a connection point on James in the fall, we would bring in his fall activity. If he's into theater, we do our musical in the fall. So we would bring in Josh Carlton, who oversees our theater and drama department. So we would bring in Mr. Carlton. We would bring in any other, forward-facing, front-facing faculty member. Oftentimes, with a new student, we bring in a representative from the admissions team because they know you best and they know James coming in. And so we gather as a team, usually during, we have a conference period at the end of the day or during lunch. We all get in a room and we talk about, all right, let's think about James. How's he doing in every single class? What are you seeing? What are you experiencing? Any feedback? Can we share data points? Hey, I've picked up on that James really learns best when you communicate with him in this way. He really learns best when he has a peer to kind of bounce ideas off of. So his teachers are sharing these ideas in these Team Tilton meetings. With his activity, right? His coach would be saying, hey, yeah, he was having some trouble, hitting those jumps on the Alpine. He's having a hard time this week. He had this injury and it's really getting him down. So they're sharing that feedback again, so that it's every faculty member who sees James during the day is able to just say, hey, bud, how you doing? I know you were struggling here, or I heard the great news that you just got an A and you cranked it on your presentation. Awesome job, James. So he's like, wow, I didn't share that with you, but you know it. So he feels that everybody around him is communicating that we're all in it together. So those Team Tilton meetings happen often. They happen regularly when a student is needing more support than perhaps normal. But we are always making sure that that communication point. So in the background on our online system, our platform, communication via email are getting tracked. And so you're able to then, as an advisor, log in, see teacher feedback about your advisors, check that, check their homeworks, their missing assignments. So that advisor is really the shepherd, the liaison between you, the parent, and the school to make sure nothing's getting missed, and that advisor is running point with that Team Tilton.
No, that's great. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking that question. Any other questions? All right. If no other questions, we do have a handful of these coming up. So as we mentioned, we have one in January. That exact date, Coach, is
That is the January 20th.
January 20th. They will be on the Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Mhm.
So we will have January, we then have February and March, all the way through the enrollment cycle. So making sure, again, if at any point through this admission cycle you feel like, you know what, I don't have a grasp on the academic course offerings, or I don't have a grasp on advisory, or I would love to connect with this coach or this program leader, please reach out to the admission office, reach out to any one of us. It is our job and our focus to make sure as the family, as the student, as the parent, you are getting all the information. You are getting all the touch points, because the more touch points, the more communication, the more connected you will feel to our community. And your student will hopefully be able to see, wow, I could really see myself at Tilton. Or this is the experience I would have. And that really resonates with me. And I'm excited for that. Here are the areas of Tilton life I would want to get involved in. And here are the areas of my life that I've never been able to get involved in, that Tilton would provide me that opportunity. So we want to ensure that you're getting all the information, you're getting the support that you need. So please keep the lines of communication open and know that we're always here for you, and really appreciate you joining us, whether it's live or watching this recording to come.
Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it, as Whit said.
Thank you all. Have a great rest of the day and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye bye.